Okay, Pete, I'm glad that you said you're good. Last class, we talk about here. Okay, let's see. We talk about the first module, that is introduction, and we learn something about like the way in order to just like have information technology and information system in the organization already. And you know that when we just like talk about like most of the organization, I can tell you that it's every organization in the world right now, they need to use information. And information without organizing them properly, you can see that it will be just the data. Data might be the fact, might be a piece of small things, of small meaningful things. That means it is not meaningless, it is meaningful, but it's just like meaningful a bit if you don't organize them. The lowest level of the things is here. Okay, let me just like write the picture for you a bit. Just won't be long. Let me just start my Zoom on my iPad as well. Okay, you can see that the lowest level is what we call data. This is the lowest level. Upper than the lowest level, upper than data, when we process it, we have information. Okay. Data is the fact that we have. Okay, is the fact that we have. It's just like a small piece of the things, for example, numbers, something like that. But when we organize them, we will get the data, we will get the information. Above from information, if we process them properly, you have knowledge. On top of knowledge, we have wisdom. Okay. So when we do programming in the programming subject, basically we have to deal with the data. And in this class, we go up more. Okay. I'll just like show you how do we get to just like process our program, organize them into collections, into series until you get information. Okay. And the class above this class, when you have to organize the information properly, okay, you may get the knowledge. For example, the knowledge base, okay, or data analytics. You can get up to the knowledge. And actually, when we have like the advanced technology, we may get up to the wisdom one. The wisdom one is like what? If you know, okay, what the user wants, okay, you may suggest the user what they want until they get or they buy the things from you, something like that. Because, for example, if you have the data, for example, when you go to 7-Eleven, okay, to buy a bottle of milk, a box of milk, let's say, it's the data, okay. When they scan your product code on their registration, cash registration machine, the transaction that we have is what we call data from 7-Eleven. When they compile all of the things, all of the transactions daily, okay, and then they send these transactions to their headquarters, the data or the transaction will be processed. And then they know that, okay, which branch they would like to order some milk more. For example, if they have like 10 bottles of milk, 10 boxes, okay, let's say 10 boxes of milk, and you say that, okay, today you bought one, other people bought another 5, okay, so right now 6 bottles or 6 boxes were sold. And actually we say that, okay, the minimum stock that each 7-Eleven brand should have is around 8 boxes. But today you sold 6 already, we have 4 left. So what are we going to do? So that means if we say that 8 boxes, okay, must be at 7-Eleven on the branch all the time. That means right now we have to order 4 more. The information you will say that, okay, order 4 more bottles, 4 more boxes of milk to this branch. This is information. But what about the knowledge? The knowledge said that, okay, we say that in Salaya area, people usually buy the milk from 7-Eleven, and we can sell every day, okay, more than let's say 6 boxes. So the knowledge that we obtain is that now we should increase the level of order, okay, of the milk that we should have in Salaya area, not to be 10 boxes anymore. It might be 20 boxes. This is the knowledge. And what about the what about the wisdom? Wisdom say that, okay, finally for Salaya area or for the area in Bangkok, which area we should place any product into the 7-Eleven brand, it will be the recommendation. That is the wisdom part. Okay. So in this subject, we don't go beyond the information, because for the knowledge, in order to have decision making or whatever, it must be done after we have the proper information system already. Okay. Right. Okay. After we talk about that one, what's next? What's next that we have to know? Okay. The next thing that we have to know when we talk about it last time was that, okay, we talk about the impact of the information technology. You have to know that when we talk about information technology, it is the way that we have to use. It is a way that we have to use hardware, software, and services. Okay, for computer science students, actually, I think you know quite well that, okay, what kind of hardware that we should use. Okay, but from now on, you have to know that, okay, when you study for programming subject, okay, you learn the idea how to program. You learn how to program already. Okay, in the near future, you should know which computer programming language match with what kind of business, match with what kind of the platform that your customer would need to use. That is a part of the IT, that is software product. The next one, for the services. For the services is that, okay, whether this company should use cloud-based service or whether this company should set up their own server. Okay, you should be able to just like know that this is a combination of like this kind of thing for each company. And when you have to just like talk about the term manage, access, communicate, and share, you have to know that how does this organization manipulate this kind of like technology as well. And for the issues that will shape the future, we talk about changes in world, like COVID-19 situation like this makes like people far away. So that means if you run a department store, while the people cannot come to your department store and buy the stuff, how can you still survive? How can you sell the product to your customer anyway? This is changes the world. For changes in technology, okay, one good example is that you can see that when you go to some supermarket or some store physically, like when you go to Home Pro, when you go to Tesco Lotus, the thing that you can see is that for Home Pro or Tesco Lotus, if you don't have cash, okay, You may just like in the past we say that if we don't have cash, we use credit card. That was in generation. We use credit card a lot. When the time goes by, okay, for the generation that is younger than me, like my brothers, my sisters, instead of having credit cards, because when they were young, they couldn't have the credit card, then they use debit card instead. And when they use debit card, okay, one problems or one issues when they use the debit card is that if they lost the debit card, somebody may steal their money straight away because it's different from credit card. If you have credit card and then somebody steal your credit card and use it, you can block that credit card amount or the payment, okay, while the debit card is different because it links directly with your account and it just like withdraw the money from your account straight away. So when the time goes by, you can see that for your generation, you don't even need to have credit card or debit card. You can just like debit the money directly from your account by using e-wallet, or you pay by QR code, something like that. In this kind of thing is what we call changes in technology. We call it as micropayment. In the past, micropayment didn't work because every time when you just like would like to pay to the bank, they charge you 2 or 3%, especially for credit cards. But customers, okay, would not like to pay for those kind of amount of money because, I mean, let's say, if you want to buy just a bottle of milk, a box of milk is just like, let's say, 12 baht. And if you have to pay 2%, okay, upfront, it means that you have to pay for 0.24 baht. It means that for just one box of milk, you have to pay 12.24 baht. No one wants to pay like this. If 12 baht, they want to pay 12 baht. So that's why the banks and financial institutions try to have micropayment instead. That means customer, if they just like pay by QR code or if they pay by their electronic wallet through their mobile phone, they can pay the micropayment. Okay. And you can see that another example for the changes in technology is like the rapid line pay. If you want to pay for the BTS or SkyTrain, you don't need to just like use cash. You don't need to go to buy the pass card by using cash anymore. If you use line pay, you may just like be able to use line pay to pay for entering the train system. For the Bitcoin, Christine, it is also the changes in technology as well, because that is digital currency. You can see that, okay, but it's another thing that I just want to talk about. It's different from just like the micropayment, because for the Bitcoin, it is another way in order to just like use the currency in the new carving currency in the world. Okay, you can use in for like saving, for trading or exchanging, and in some countries they allow to use Bitcoin as well for like the micropayment, like in the coffee shop, but not in Thailand yet. But as far as I read from some research papers, they said that in Thailand now some banks approve of using this kind of digital currency, but not Bitcoin. It's other currency unit. I can't remember the name now, for exchanging the money between countries, especially for Japan and in Thailand. I heard that SCB will use this currency very soon instead of exchanging from Thai baht and Japanese yen. Okay. Once you want to transfer the money to another account from SCB to the bank in Japan, we can use this kind of digital currency straight away. That is changes in technology. Okay. And changes in client demand as well. In the past, when you would like to sell something for the kids, it was very difficult because the people who can buy the stuff for the kids were their parents. But right now you can see that the kids also own their tablet or smartphone. That means if you can just like communicate with those kids, you can just like sell them the product as well. For example, for anyone who are gamers, you can see that for weapons, for items in the game, you may buy it directly, right, without asking for your parents. These are changing in client demand as well, right? And because the technology goes very fast, so that means those kind of company can just like build the demand of the customer, okay, more and more. So these are the issues that will shape the future, right? So the next thing that we have to know is that when we have the information, we need to have information system. How do we have the system to be developed or information system developed? Don't forget that last class, I told you that for the system, okay, we may name them as information system. Okay, we may name them as information system. Information system or just system only. Okay, it depends how you call it. In this class, we mean it as system. I mean it as information system. So information system or business information systems here are developed by people who are technically qualified, who can be business oriented and highly motivated. So that means you have to just like gear yourself with the business oriented point of view as well, so that you can have just like the idea in order to let the business information to be developed properly. And just a little more thing. The point I want you to have is that you need to be good communicators. Okay, sometimes you say that, then I just like don't want to talk to other people. Okay, then you might have to know yourself, the limitation of yourself. Somebody said that they prefer to be programmers, but somebody like some of the students who took this course before, they have changed their mindset and they say that okay, for programming I can do it, but it's not my like preference. But I want to communicate with other people to just like transform their needs or their requirement to be the programming. So you will be the good communicator because you are the one who can communicate with your users. But anyway, you must have the strong analytical skills and critical thinking skills as well, because you have to transform their needs or the problems or the issues that they have to be the program, to be the programs or the software that you may just like, if you don't write the program by yourself, you also have to transform this need or this requirement to the programming team, the programmers team as well. So for the system analysis and design, okay, or information system analysis and design, in order to have an proper information system or business information system, you need to pass the process of what we call system analysis and design. Okay, some universities or some subject, they may be called as ISAD course, ISAD or SAD course. Okay, and also this is a big picture of like the interactive design or interaction design, because for the interaction design, it's the design in order to switch the users with the system. That's why you must pass this process first, analysis and design part. Then what is it? It is step-by-step process. Okay, step by step. That means you cannot skip any of them. You have to do all of them in step. For what? For developing high quality information system. So who do this one? Who do the task of system analysis? The person who do the system analysis and design task is this person. System analyst or SA is the person who plans, who develop, and maintain information system. So that means these are the tasks that a person who is the system analyst must do. After that, when we talk about the system analysis and design and system analyst already, okay, how do you develop information system? People who can develop the information system can be one out of this group of people. Okay. So in this one, the first group of people or the first way of information system that we can have is in-house application. What is in-house application? In-house application, that it means the application that has been developed by people who are in IT department, okay, of that company. They will develop the software for their own company. What about software packages? The information system that we may want to use in the organization might be the software package that we purchase from outside. Software packages, like if we are talking about, let's say, Windows, okay, Microsoft Windows, normally the company do not develop OS by themselves. They buy the software packages like Windows, okay, or sometimes if they want to buy or if they want to have the database management system, they buy from Oracle. They don't develop that database management software by themselves, okay. And for the leading kind of thing, okay, the software package here, for information system here, we mean the software package that we use to manage the information system. Okay. For example, one of the best and the largest software that people use in the world for being the information system for the whole company is SAP or SAP. SAP, including Mahidol University, we use SAP as well. This one is used to manage finance, manage human resource, manage all the resources that the company may have. Okay, right. The next one, internet-based application services like the cloud-based services. Okay, some companies say that, okay, they don't want to invest a lot. Then they may find like some of the software that you can just like pay per month by the number of users. For example, they may charge you, let's say, $10 per one user per month. That means suppose we have, let's say, 200 users. If you use cloud-based, you will spend $2,000 per month only for using this software. Okay. Compare with the software package here. The software package here may cost you, let's say, $100,000, okay, something like that. So you may have to think that, okay, compare between $2,000 per month and $100,000 you pay just one time. Which one would your company would like to have? Then you just make a decision. Okay. Right. The next, outsourcing. For the outsourcing, you may want to have the software for your company, but you don't have IT department. You may have to hire somebody outside company, like software house, okay, in order to develop the software for your company. Custom solution. Normally, custom solution, we mean that the software that we purchase is customizable, and you customize it according to what the company needs. The next one, enterprise-wide software strategies, depends on what the whole company want to have. Sometimes, if you say that, okay, you have the company with 10 branches, or you may have some affiliated company. Okay, as an enterprise or as a group of companies, you may set up the strategy. For example, you may say that every affiliated or sub companies may need to use the same software, or you may say that each branch or each affiliated company can use its own software. It depends. Okay, so it's how versus what. The next one, we talk about the components in the information system. Okay, so the first one, you have to understand the term system first. What is system? It's a set of related components that produce specific results. For this one, I may just compare it to the knowledge, the prior knowledge that you had in computer programming or computer concept before. When we had the things like this, we have input, process, and output. Okay. So in this one, it's applicable to every kind of thing in computer science. If you want to have output, you need to have process that gets the input and process it first before you get the output. This one, the whole thing here, we call it as system. Okay, so it's a set of related components that produces specific results. Okay, so when we talk about mission critical system, normally it is one of the important thing and essential thing to the operations of the company. So what does it mean by mission critical system? It means that it is system that your company must have in order to accomplish the goal of the company. So if we are talking about Windows, Microsoft Windows is not mission critical system. The reason is because Microsoft Windows is not related to direct company operation. But if we are talking about, like, let's say, if you are running a petroleum and natural resources oil company like PTT, or if we are talking about Shell, okay, mission critical systems or mission critical information system is the system about the product. How do they produce? How many liters of benzene do they have to produce? What else? How many can of the engine oil do they stock or do they produce in each day? That is mission critical system. Because if they don't have these systems, the whole company cannot sell the product for sure. What about Windows? If one computer is broken, they can switch to use another computer instead, and they can still sell that product. That's why Windows is important, but it's not mission critical system for the company. Okay. Next, data. When we talk about the mission critical system, the inputting, okay, of the mission critical system is like data. Okay. When we talk about data consists of basic facts that are systems raw material, and it will be input. So let's see from this diagram once again. We have input, process, and then output. What is the input? Input in this case is data. When we process data already, you get the output, that is information. So that means you may call this one as like, you may call information as cooked data. The cooked data is the information. Compare this kind of thing with the food. Data is like a raw meat. Information is your steak. If you cook your meat already or you process your meat already, you get the steak. Okay. So this one, information, is the data that you transform it already. Transform or cook it. What does it mean? When you compile the data together, okay, it will become valuable information. Okay, so the output of the information is the output from the processing data to be valuable to users. So in order to process data to information, we need to have information systems. And the information systems must have 5 key components: hardware, software, okay, people. Okay, these are important things. But inside, they need to have data and they need to have process too, in order to just like transform the data to become information. Okay, right. So from input to process, this is the task of data analysis task for system analyst or the system analyst to do. And after that, they also have to analyze, and also they have to just like predict what do they get as the output as well. So for the whole loop in here for the system analyst has to be able to just like manage and then just like foresee this kind of thing. Right. For the components, the 5 components that I mentioned in the previous slide, okay, the first one is hardware. Okay, physical layer of information, physical layer of information system, and the growth is according to Moore's law. Okay, okay, let me see some of students who may be able to help me to answer. Napat, what is Moore's law?
Can I say no idea?
No idea, really? Okay, let me see some of my former students. Let me see first whether he is in here or not. Oh, okay, I see you already. Junie.
Yes.
Welcome to
Moore's law, right?
Moore's law, what is it?
Yeah, it's this idea that roughly every 2 years the number of transistors in a chip doubles. So that translates to twice the processing power, half the cost. Yes. That stuff.
That's right, that is Moore's law. Okay. You can see that, okay, the way that you just like think about like the investing of the hardware, it's according to the Moore's law. Okay, let me just give you some idea first. Okay. When I was in the university, in the bachelor degree, okay, I remember that my mom bought me a set of computer. Okay. At that time it was 82, 86, long time ago. Okay. I can't remember the spec of the CPU, but I asked my mom to buy hard drive for me. 120. The unit at that time was megabyte. Okay. The price was 12,000 baht. Do you think it's expensive? See the price first, not the capacity. 12,000 baht. Okay. It's very expensive when we compare with the storage right now. I remember that on last 2 months ago, I bought 2 terabytes of hard drive. It just cost me 1,500 baht. You can see that it's not comparable. Okay. So according to the Moore's law, it's like this. Now, the processing power and also the storage is cheaper and cheaper, while you can just like store more data, and the capacity is more, while the price is cheaper. Processing power is more and it's cheaper too. The next thing for the software, okay, we have to think of three major things for the information system. System software, like operating system, like Windows, Linux, Unix. Okay. Application software that you have to use, for example, Microsoft Office, data visualization tools, for example, Tableau, Access, something like that. And the last one, enterprise application, is a large size software that you have to use for the whole enterprise-wide or company-wide. For example, SAP, Oracle. Okay, these are like the software that we have to consider as a component in the information system. The next thing is about like software. When we view the software, you have to think that, okay, we have horizontal system, vertical system, and legacy system. Horizontal system, what does it mean? When we talk about horizontal system, it's the software in the same level. For example, we have like Microsoft Office, we have, let's say, word processor, we have spreadsheet software, they are in the same level. Okay. But for vertical system, we may say that we have application software, we may have operating systems, okay, we may have network OS system. These are different levels. These are what we call vertical systems. While the legacy system, if you see this word, legacy system means the system that company used to use before. Okay. For example, the registration system right now, you are using Sky system, right? Before the time of Sky, we had the information system that we call it as Oasis. Students use Oasis to register for the course, but the functions in Oasis was quite limited. So that's why we changed it into Sky system. And before Oasis, we had the time for MUIC registration system. So Oasis, MUIC registration system, they are legacy system that we had. Until now, the server of Oasis and MUIC registration system are still on. What for? If there are some alumni who would like to get their transcript, especially for the students, for the alumni who were in the period of ISDP. You know what ISDP is? Asher, what is ISDP? Hello, Asher, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Asher, what is ISDP?
Can I say that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, just try.
ISDP, Information System Development Policy.
No, sorry. Sorry. ISDP is not information system. It's international program.
Oh, it's right here.
It's the name of MUIC. Before we turn to MUIC, it was ISDP before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The reason I told you is because in the past, students in the ISDP period, okay, their information was kept in MUIC registration system. So we cannot shut it down because when they asked for transcript, we had to get it from that system. That's why some companies they still need to have the legacy system on, and they can't turn it off. Okay, this is a software that if the organization has been running for a long time, they may have many legacy systems, okay, that you have to know. Sometimes you say that I want to shut it down. You have to make sure that you transfer all the data from the legacy system to the new system already, otherwise you can't do it. Okay, this is the thing that you have to know. Next, data. When we talk about data, before we process them to become the information, we have table. So let's see what a table. The example here is like a table, okay, that you may see here. In this example, this is employee table. Employee table consists of many values or many pieces of data inside. Okay. You can see that if we are talking about like programming in the past, each box might be kept as each variable, okay, or each instance for the object. Okay. For this kind of thing, we call them as table. But when we link the table together, it supplies the data for you. For example, in order to get the employee data here, okay, employee table here, sorry, the data come from many tables like payroll, like employee, like current deduction, deduction option, and it will be shown in one card of the employee like this. So this is the data that we may have in the company. Next, the next component is a process. The process describes the tasks and business functions that users in the company they perform to achieve specific results. Users might be like the end users, might be managers of the company, might be IT staff members. Okay, so the process here, you have to understand the word task and business function. Okay, what are tasks and business functions? You must be able to clarify these two terms. For example, if you are talking about deposit, the money. Sorry. Deposit money here might be function, In order to deposit the money, we have many tasks. What are the tasks? The first one, customer insert ATM card, that is one task. Second one, system show the PIN code screen. Third task is that the customer has to press their PIN code. After that, customer has to choose what functions they would like to use. For example, deposit money. After that, the next task is that system responds as a screen to let the users to remove the clips or rubber bands from their banknote first, and then the system or the machine has to open its drawer to let the users or customer to insert the banknote. That are the tasks. So that's why you have to be able to distinguish about these terms, because when you just like clarify this thing into the interaction design, you have to know more. You have to just like know everything in detail. And the people in here, for the information system, we mean stakeholders. Stakeholders means people who are related to the system, who involved with this system. Okay, and also we talk about users and end users. End users means the person who just like do like the data entry or see the output of this screen directly, of the system directly. But users, we mean general people who involve or deal with the system. Right. The next one, we will talk about the business aspect. In terms of business aspect, okay, you have to understand the business process modeling. What does it mean by business process modeling? Firstly, you have to understand the term business process first. In the previous slide, we talked about the process before. Now, we just like come more into terms of business process. Business process is the group of interrelated tasks or interrelated functions that accomplish the goal of the company. We will learn how to model them. Okay, so that when you just like develop the information system, it will correspond to the business process model and component that we have. After that, we talk about the profile, the business profile. Okay, in terms of business profile, we have to understand that, okay, how does the business or the company convey their information to their stakeholders or their customers or the people outside the company. Okay, for example, we say that, okay, this company is the oil producer and also the chemical product producer since 2000, something like that. This is a part of business profile. Our company use SAP as a core information system, blah, blah, blah. We have 2,000 employees around the country and neighboring country too. That is a part of business profile. Talk about like the overview thing. The next is business model. Okay, in this one, in this class, I will also talk about the business model. Okay, how do we gonna just like understand the business model that the company has, and how can we just like prepare or draw diagram to explain about this business model. Okay, we will learn about business process that each company has, and also we will learn about the idea of business process re-engineering. For business process re-engineering, it is the way that we re-engineer the current business process that the company has, and it helps saving the time a lot. For example, let me give you an example that we can see it easily. Let me think which one. Talking about like sky system, okay, you can see everything easily. For the sky system here, the things that you have to do is that you just see the schedule first, when will be the registration date and time, and when you reach the time, you can go log into Sky System, choose a subject that you want to take, and then click register, click to enroll that course, and then submit it to your advisor, right? Then the advisor will just like log in and then approve for you. The things that I want you to know is that in the past, it was different. I remember that on the first year I joined MUIC, okay, as the advisor of the students. The things that I saw from my students was that I remember that at that time I taught one course, it was programming one, I guess. The time was around like 10 o'clock on Monday and Wednesday. I saw my students, more than half of students slept in my class on the very first day for add and drop and the very first day of the class. I asked them, hey, everyone, what's going on? Did you sleep last night? And they said that, Ajahn, I haven't slept yet. And I said that what's going on is just like the first day of the class, of the term. What's wrong with you? They said that, you know, we had in the queue, and then we just finished the registration process. Wow, the other half of the class didn't turn up in the class. Okay, they came very late. The class finished around 12 o'clock, 11:50. They came around like 5 minutes or 10 minutes before the class finished. Okay. Some of the students didn't turn up. In the afternoon, when I had another class, around like 1/3 of students didn't turn up in, let's say, almost like 30-40 minutes. And I'm just curious what's going on with my students. You know what? When we had a system that we call MUIC registration system at that time, it was not internet time. Students, when you had to just like register for the course, you had to just like get a blank form from OAA office. That form, okay, just consists of your name, your student ID, subject that you want to take, and then it has a box for your advisor to sign. Everything must be done manually. So what happened was, the first one, okay, if you would like to take any courses, you have to see in the course catalog that was printed as the student manual and course catalog. Then you just write down the name of the course that you want to take. After that, we had advising day. You had to see the advisor. Advisor would sign for you and talk to you which courses you should take, which course you shouldn't take. If you are the first or second year student, before advising day, you had to go to language department office first, because EC subject, they had like a specific section for you. You had to go to see them and let them assign the section for you. You cannot write down the section by yourself. They had the rubber stamp that stamp that, okay, you have to take this subject on what section. And after that, you had to just like come to see your advisor according to the advising day. If you go to see your advisor already, and then you go to OA office, you must be in the queue. They would type the information for you into the system. They enter the data into the system for you. If the section is full, you have to just like check which section is still available and take that subject in another section instead. This one takes lots of time, and it's also first come first serve. Similar to the Sky system, it's first come first serve as well. But they say that, okay, student code 618, your registration time is this time to this time. Okay. For example, if 618 student registration time is 8 o'clock, some of the students came to MUIC around midnight of the previous day. And normally, when some student wouldn't like to come by yourself, you may ask the driver, you may ask your parent to be in the queue for you, and you came in the morning, something like that. So that's why on the first day, some students just like slept in the class. Apart from that, in the afternoon, where were they? They went to the bank, because after you get registration approved and registered already, you have to go to the finance department first, okay, to get some payment slip, and then you go to the bank to pay the money. After that, you have to come back to finance office to return the receipt to them, and then you can come to the class. So you can see that it wastes a lot of time of the students and the class, right? So that's why this kind of business process was replaced by having Oasis system, that students doesn't need to just like go to OAA office anymore. They can register the subject in the system, but we still have advising day before the advance or your advisor approve. You have to just like come to see them and they approve in front of you, something like that. But now everything is changed. We re-engineer it again and it becomes Sky system that you just like don't want to see your advisor. We just like communicate to each other through the chat box or line messenger, and then you can just like do the electronic payment through Sky system straight away. This streamline the business process. That's why we call it as business process re-engineering. This one. Okay, right. After that, we talk about the next thing. That is new kind of company. Okay, so you can see that for the companies, they have like various kind of companies. Some of them are production oriented. They produce the products and sell to other people. Some companies are service oriented. They provide a service to other people. For example, hotel. Okay, they don't have the real products to sell, but they sell the service to other people. Like software house is a service oriented as well. Internet dependent. For example, we talk about like Amazon.com. We talk about like Lazada. Okay, they don't have the product in the stock physically. Okay. The next one, .com. I mean the pure companies that run on the internet basis. They don't have the physical store. And brick and mortar. Brick and mortar is a combination for the companies which have like the store, the physical store, and they also have the website to sell the product online as well. For example, if we are talking about department store like Central Department Store, they are brick and mortar right now, because in the brick and mortar, also I'm sorry, once again, brick and mortar is the physical store. It's the physical store. They don't have any internet related. For example, if you go to just like some shop, like restaurants, that you cannot order the food online. That is brick and mortar, because you have to go to the restaurant to just like buy and order the food. That is brick and mortar. Okay. So right now we have like so many kind of companies that you have to know. Okay. .com. Okay. For .com. .com is the pure internet base. For the internet dependent, okay, it depends on the type of the company, which may have both physical and internet store. While .com has just the only internet website only, and sell the products to the internet. Internet dependent sell on both physical store and sell on internet too. Like Central Department Store right now, you can go to their shopping center to buy the stuff from there, or you can order from the internet. That is internet dependent. Internet dependent. We have like both of them. Okay. While .com doesn't have the physical store. Like for .com, the example is like eBay. It's like Lazada. It's like Amazon. They don't have the physical store. Okay, you got it, Pongamon? Okay, then let's move on. The next thing is the impact of the internet that you should know, because right now everywhere we can have the internet accessible. Okay, almost everywhere in the world. So the first one impact is e-commerce or i-commerce. E-commerce is electronic commerce, while i-commerce is internet commerce, the same thing. B2C, business to consumer. What is the impact of the internet in this part? B2C is that in the past, you need the middleman or middle person to sell the product for you. If you are the producer, you couldn't sell the product directly because you are not an expert in selling. You might be the expert in producing. But right now, B2C or business to consumer help many organizations or may help many companies to sell the product by themselves. they can eliminate middle person. To eliminate this middle person, we call this concept as disintermediation. Okay, disintermediation. That means you eliminate the intermediate person or the middle person. For example, Adidas, Nike, they run their website and sell the products to their customer directly as well. Okay, but in the past, Adidas and Nike needed to have the sole distributor first. Okay, sole distributor will be the company who import this product to the country, and sole distributor will distribute these products to retail store. Okay, but right now you can see that these products you can purchase online from the direct producer of the product. This is what we call disintermediation. The next one, B2B. B2B is the way that it's business to business. It's the way that the company sell products to another company by using internet web. Okay, I can tell you that B2B is the largest market of the e-business in the world. That means, for example, if you are a car producer, when you want to produce a car, you need to order parts from other companies. For example, windscreen. You need to order something like screws, nuts, and bolts from other companies, because car manufacturing company will not produce the nut and bolts or windscreen by themselves. And when they order, they don't need to make a phone call or they don't need to fax, but they just order online. That is B2B. We have EDI, electronic data interchange. It is the standard that companies use to just like transform the data from one company to another company. They have standard form of transferring the data. Okay, it's different from like end customer buy the pair of shoes from Adidas. No, it's different, because from business to business, they need to have, or they need to just like agree on the standard of the data that they will transfer between companies. Next, we have XML. It is a language that we use in order to just like convey and port information from one website to another website, from one business to another business. And we have supply chain management. Okay, in order to just like order and in order to just like deliver the product, bill, and then just like get approval, something like that, or quote for the price, something like that. We have what we call supply chain management. I'll talk about it later on when we reach that part. And then we have supplier relationship management, or the way that we just like deal with the suppliers, and then we can just like rank the score for the supplier as well, whether they're good, whether we would like to order from this supplier again or not on the next time. The next one, business information system. For this term, in the past, IT manager divided system into categories based on user group the system serves. Okay, what does it mean? It means that in the past, each company try to think of like this kind of group of information system that they should have. Okay, and they could group like this. First one, office system. Office system is like the software that you use in the office, like Microsoft Office, calculator, something like that. Those are like office system. AutoCAD for designing its office system. Now, the second group goes to operational system. Operational system is not OS or operating system is different. Operational system are the system that relates to the operation of the company. For example, we may have like the production management system, production control system, material requirement planning, and so on. Production plan, something like that. That is operational system. Next, decision support system. Decision support system is another kind of information system that executive or managers or management use to support a specific decision. For example, they may just want to know that, okay, should they move or should they build another factory or not? Okay, they may have the decision support system to help. Or sometimes, if we are talking about a bank, decision support system might be the information system that helps supporting whether we should approve that application form or not. For example, if you say that you would like to apply for a credit card, you just like lodge the form of the credit card application to the bank. They may ask you for some like evidences or documents like your payment slip. They may request for something else like what to say, the statement of the bank, something like that. They use for making a decision whether they approve your credit card or not. And then for this information or this document, it will be scanned to that system. Some part of its essential information will be retrieved over the decision support system, and they may say yes or no, approve or reject for this application form or not. Or another scenario that we may think about the decision support system is like when you just like use the credit card outside the country, outside the issuing country. For example, you are in Thailand. Okay, the bank issues your credit card is in Thailand as well. For example, if you say that SCB Bank, okay, they say that the credit limit for you is around, let's say, 1 million baht. But today, and normally you say that you rarely use a credit card, you just use it to fill up the petrol for your car only. But one day, the credit card is calling to charge, let's say, 800,000 baht from Belgium, okay? Because you, it said that, okay, the card holder would like to use the card to buy a wristwatch worth 800,000 baht. Normally, if you swipe the card in Belgium, it's not approved straight away if the amount is like very high like that. The request will be sent to the bank, and the decision support system will work to approve or to reject. If they say that, okay, normally you never use this kind of amount of money much, normally you use 1,000 baht, and you use it, let's say, once in every 2 weeks. But today you use 800,000 straight away. You receive the phone call first and say that, okay, you are requesting to use a card for 800,000 baht. Is that you? If you can just like verify yourself, the 800,000 baht will be approved by the decision support system. Okay. The last one, executive information system, is the information system that is used to serve the executive use. For example, the executive would like to know that, okay, how do we plan for the production on the next year? Okay, which branch should we invest more? Which kind of production line should we open more? Something like that. Your current information system should support the need of the executive of the company. It's not day-to-day operation. After we have this kind of information system already, today, the business information system, we identify system by the function and features instead of using, instead of just users, group of users. So currently, the information system can be divided into these categories. Like, for example, first one, enterprise computing system. That is information system to serve the whole company. Transaction processing system. are the information system that just like process the basic data of the company. Business support system are the information system that supports the business operations and business planning. Knowledge management system are the information system that just like help or keep or manage the knowledge that we have in the company. For example, suppose we say that, okay, the company runs the training business. Every time that we just like would like to prepare the materials for the customer when we go out for training, we prepare the folder for them, and then we have the documents inside. The content in the folder that we prepare for the customers will be kept in the knowledge base. And in this knowledge base, we keep it in the knowledge management system. And the last one, user productivity system. Within, they are all information system. Yes, they are all information system. As you can see that in here, I told you before that anything that ends with system in this class means information system. Okay. Right. The last one, user productivity system, means the software, okay, that you use in the office for having some productivity. For example, AutoCAD Designer, or for example, Adobe After Effects, something like that. Those are user productivity systems because you have to keep those files and organize them as well. Okay. When you study more, you can see that when you write down a program or develop the software, it need. I mean, you may say that I save it in my hard drive. It's not enough. You need to have version control as well. Okay. So that's why. Okay. You need to have like user productivity system, like even the development software. I mean, software developing tools, for example. If we are talking about Python editor or something like that, those are user productivity system as well. And then you need to have the version control for this kind of information system too. So it depends on function and features, how those information serve us. Right. The next thing that we need to know is that when we talk about the business information system, we talk about the first group or the first category, that is enterprise computing system. Okay. So let's see what they are. For the enterprise information system or enterprise computing system in here, okay, it supports the company-wide operation, and also it supports data management requirements. Normally, they usually come in form of what we call enterprise resource planning or ERP software, or ERP system. Okay. So they say that many hardware and software vendors target the enterprise computing market. What do I mean? Most of the companies, especially for mid-size and large-size companies, need to use the ERP. So that's why many of hardware and software vendors like Microsoft, like HP, like what else? Dell. They would like to just like focusing in the target market as the enterprise computing software, because they can sell a lot of their hardware and software to be used with this kind of system. And for anybody or any company who use ERP, normally you have like hundreds or thousands of people or users involved in this kind of software. So that means those kind of company like the hardware or software company, they can sell lots of things. That's why they just target the enterprise computing market right now. Okay. The next one, okay, we talk about like the enterprise resource planning system or ERP system. So when they have sales transactions, these are like basic tasks that they need to have. They need to verify the customer data. They need to check their credit status. After that, when the sales transaction occur, they have to post the account receivable. Okay, account receivable in terms of accounting, it means look me or debt sheet that you just like own. The customer the customer owe the money to your company. What do I mean? Because we are end customer, when we go to 7-Eleven, we pay by cash. But sometimes when you buy, when you are a company and you want to buy some products from another company, you buy it in credit. That means you don't have to pay now. You pay in the next 60 days. So during that 60 days, you are account receivable of the company, of that company, or you are debtor of the company, or you are look-me to that company. Next, the sales transaction also we have to use to check in stock status. How many items of the product do we have? Adjust inventory data means that when the customer purchases the product from you, how many items do we have left? Update sales activity file. That means the system will help update the sales activity. How many items that we can sell today? How many customers do our sales representative contact today? Okay, these are like the tasks, the basic tasks that business information system must do. Okay. The next thing is that for the business support system, this kind of information system will provide job-related information to users at all levels of the company. For example, cashier, sales representative, accountant, manager, CEO, and all the people in the company. And also, this kind of system, okay, might be MIS or Management Information System. This kind of system just provide the report. Just provide the report to like all level of the company, especially for middle management. Middle management are who? They are just like the department manager or division manager. Okay, they are middle management of the company. Okay, and also we may have like use the radio frequency identification in the system as well, like the tag that I told you before. And they may have what if. What if in this one, what does it mean? It is what if analysis. This kind of system will help to judge that what will happen if you do something. For example, if we want 1 million profit, we want 1 million baht profit. How many items do we have to sell? Okay, something like that. For example, they will use the formula to just return and find out that, okay, if you want 1 million baht profit, you may have to produce 50,000 items, or you may be able to sell 50,000 items per 1 month, something like that, to get 1 million baht as a profit. So this kind of what if can be just like start or initiate in business information system. The next one that we have to know is that for the knowledge management system, or we may call it as expert system, it simulates human reasoning by combining knowledge base that we have in the company with the inference rules. For example, I told you earlier that for the knowledge management system, in case that our company run like, let's say, training company, okay, and we just like always have to prepare the folder for our customers. So the knowledge base and inference rule here might be like, if a customer requests to have a training course for this and for that, okay, how can the knowledge management system prepare the document for us? What kind of document should be prepared in the folder or something like that? It may list out all the important documents and then you just pull them and print them out, prepare the folder for your customer, something like that. Many acknowledgement systems use a technique called fuzzy logic. Okay, right now it might be like the AI in order to just like do the or manage this kind of expert system. Okay, it depends on what customers need, because you may not have the fixed formula. You need to use the AI to help. The next thing, when we talk about the next kind of information system, it's user productivity system. The user productivity system is like technology that improves productivity. It might be a groupware, okay, or it might be something like Adobe that I told you before, AutoCAD or Premiere Pro, something like that. Groupware, what is groupware? Groupware is a software that you use in order to communicate among group members. For example, this generation, we may use Microsoft Outlook. Okay, we may use Microsoft Outlook. That is that when you have a calendar, okay, you have agenda to do. Let's say tomorrow I have a meeting. I just put the meeting in there and I book the room. I can book in the Outlook straight away. And while I book the room already, or when I book the meeting room already, other people, once they want to use or they want to book the room at the same time as I book, they can't do it because the system reserved the room for me already. And also, if somebody would like to see me tomorrow, once they see in my calendar, they know that I'm not available because I have a meeting. So this is groupware that we can use among different people in the same company. The next one, we talk about the information systems integration. So you can see that these kind of systems cannot be stand isolatedly. Most of the large companies require the system that they can combine transaction processing together to provide business support, to provide knowledge management and user productivity features. If the system is standalone, it will be very difficult for them to just like integrate the work. Okay, so when we have or when we need to have that kind of business information system, you need to know that how we're gonna do that. I'll just like teach you more how we're gonna do. So the next thing that we have to know is that what information do users need? Okay. Firstly, you have to understand that normally in each organization, we separate the organization level into 3 to 4 levels. In this diagram, I'm showing you for the pyramid of the management level in 4 levels here. The lowest level, they are what we call operational employees. Okay. Next level, a bit up, we call them as supervisors and team leaders. Okay. This one, we may call them as operational management for the second level here. Third level, for the third level, they are middle management or knowledge worker. This one we call them as middle management. Okay, they may be like department manager or division manager. And the top manager or top management, you can see that the proportion of top management is the least. They might be the CEO. Okay, what does CEO mean? Kantinan, what do you think? What is CEO? Have you ever heard about that, Kantinan?
It's a chief executive.
Yes, it is chief executive officer is #1 of the company. They set the policy of the company. Okay, thank you. There may be like CEO, COO, CFO, CIO. Okay, let me just like tell you. For CEO, Kantinan just help clarifying the meaning already. Then we have COO, CIO, CFO. COO is Chief Operation Officer. CIO, Chief Information Officer. CFO, Chief Finance Officer. Okay, these are top managers that each company should have, okay, on the top level. So you can see that when we consider the proportion of these different level of the people in the company, operational employees are the highest proportion. Okay, and number of management level will be lesser and lesser until the top level. We may have like a couple of people, or company may have just one person only. Okay, this is the operational level. Sorry, this is the organizational level. But if we're talking about like if we have the cross section of these pyramids, okay, we get the like the pie chart like this. This one, you can see that if we separate them by business function, each level should have the people who involved with these things: marketing, production, IT, sales, accounting, HR, or human resource. Okay, these are like if we do the cross section for business function of each level, we get like this. Okay, these are like people in each company, okay, in different level. The next thing that we have to know is that for develop the system or information system, the system development tools here, okay, when we talk about modeling, how do we gonna model? Okay, what kind of what kind of software do we have to use? Okay, and what for what purpose? Normally, in terms of modeling, you should have the software that can model the business, or just like do the business model, to draw requirement model, draw data model in the information system. You may have object model, network model, like how like each component related to each other, or process model. You model each process that we need to have in the information system. Okay, you may have like, actually this is visualization tools only. You may use Microsoft VCO in order to prepare this kind of diagram, to prepare this kind of modeling. Okay. But if you say that, hey, but I don't have a VCO, what other software can I have? Somebody may just use PowerPoint to do the modeling, no problem at all. For some object that you don't have, you may download it and then use PowerPoint to just like link or connect them together. The next one, okay, in terms of prototyping, how do we gonna do the prototype, and what is prototype for? Prototype is the first of a design of the system that you just like design this kind of like, it's like the dummy, to let your users know what you are doing and what do their expectation is just like met or not. Prototype, okay, can speed up development process significantly, because when you have the prototype, okay, users will see the picture of the system. Okay. And also, important decisions might be made too early before business or IT issues are thoroughly understood. Because of what? Sometimes you want to have the decision whether it should be the web-based or whether it should be the mobile version instead. You just like prepare the prototype on both versions for them. They can help make a decision before even the business or IT issues are understood. Okay, and it can be extremely valuable too, because many of the students, many of the users, we expect that, okay, many of the users, they expect to see the prototype. Okay, okay, if possible. What about like user interface? Some textbooks, they say that user's interface can be viewed as one kind of prototype as well, because users will see how the system look like through the user interface. Okay. After that, the tools, another tool that we can use for as a part of system development tools, we may have CASE2. CASE2 is a computer-aided system engineering tools. Okay. It can generate program codes, okay, which speeds the implementation process as well. So what does it mean? It means that when you just draw the diagram, you just specify some object, specify the attributes inside, you may generate some code, but the code is not 100% complete. You have to add something more. But anyway, when you use CASE2 to generate some program code, it can be just like a kind of prototype as well that you can just like show it or present it to your users. Okay. So the next thing that you have to know is that when we talk about the system analysis and design, you need to understand the system development method. How do we gonna develop the whole information system? We have like many schemes to do. Okay, we have many schemes to do, but today I just talk about the basic ideas for what we call structured analysis first. The structured analysis, we use the tools or the scheme that we call system development life cycle, or SDLC. Okay. System development life cycle, the picture blocking some text. System development life cycle, or SDLC. This kind of approach is what we call predictive approach, because you can anticipate what's going on in the next step. Okay. We use a set of process model to describe system graphically, and it's process center technique. This technique is waterfall model, because you start from the top, just gradually go down to the bottom. Let me explain to you for a set of process models. What do I mean? This is process. Set of process model means that you have this kind of process in your diagram to explain what's going on, and then you have input, process, and output. So that's why this one, we call it as the process center technique. We start from what process do we need to have first. And after that, you see what is the input, what is the output, what is the interconnection between process, something like that. Okay. So this is what we call structured analysis in terms of system development lifecycle, or SDLC. So when people think about SDLC, or they talk about SDLC or structured analysis, just think of this kind of diagram. Okay. After that, for more information about the structured analysis, okay, normally structured analysis aims for a deliverable or end product. What do we need to have? What kind of document we need as the output? What kind of data we need as the output? Where do we send this kind of output to? Okay. But anyway, this advantage in the built-in structure of SDLC. Okay. This advantage is that waterfall model does not support or does not emphasize interactivity among the phases. For example, you may say that, okay, step 1 you do this, step 2 you do that, okay, or phase 1 you do this, phase 2 you do that. SDLC is good, but it's quite flat. Then you don't know which process comes first, which process comes later. Because one thing that you may do is that, okay, let me just go back to the previous slide a bit. You say that, okay, this is process 2. Somebody expect that process 1 come before process 2. process 3 come after process 2, but who knows if process 2 and 3 comes at the same time. It is a bit difficult to represent in the same diagram. Right. And the criticism can be valid if SDLC phases are followed too rigidly. So that means if you just send this diagram to your user and you say that you are quite strict, you can't change the order of this kind of diagram. Sometimes your users might be just like feel that okay, this is not suitable for our company because we want to have more flexible kind of like doing or processing the task, something like that. But I mean, it's straightforward to tell you. Okay. Adjacent phases usually interact. For example, process 2, process 3. You can see that the number are just like adjacent. So they usually just draw the input and output. We have like output from process 2 sent as the input for process 3. This is the anticipation of the people when they just like draw and when they try to understand the data flow diagram or the diagram of the SDLC like that. We will talk about in detail when we reach the part of preparing the diagram for system development method. Apart from that, SDLC model usually includes 5 steps: planning, analysis, design, implementation, system support, and security. Okay, these are 5 major steps that you have to do. And if you remember, I told you that for the structure analysis, we may call it as waterfall model. When we call it as waterfall model, the nature of waterfall model starts from the top first. So the first task that you have to do is that doing system planning. After that, when you plan, you do analysis. Then you do design. Then you do implementation. And lastly, you do system support. You can't just go back. For example, once you design already, you can't go back to analysis. Okay, that means you have to do the analysis thoroughly first before you go to design. And you have to design properly before you implement it. And once you implement already, you have to support. Okay, these are what we call waterfall model because we have to do step by step as a top-down approach. Okay, for details in the structured analysis and more things. Okay, I'll talk about in the next class. For module number 1, I go a bit slowly so that I would like you to just like be familiarized with the terms that I introduce you into this subject. Okay, right. Up to this point, do you have any questions? Hello, everyone. Are you still with me? Thank you. Thank you for answering me. Okay. Okay. So before we finish the class today, okay, everyone, could you please turn on your camera? Okay. So that I can just capture the screen. Okay, so just a couple of more things that I just want you to know. To be good for all of us in the class, okay, feel free to turn on the microphone and talk to me. Okay, so that the class will not be so quiet. Okay, you know what I mean? And also we will just like have a group discussion as well. Then I'll just like let you just discuss through the microphone as well. Okay, then you may have to just like turn on the microphone so that you'll be familiar to me and my just like teaching and learning style in the class as well. Okay, just a little bit more before we finish the class. I set up the line group. I set up the line group for our subject in order to let you just like communicate with me outside the class. Okay. If you have any problem, just feel free to just like talk to me on line group as well. And if I have anything to just let you know, I will also just like put it on the what to say our line group as well. I know that some of you have my personal line with my internet connection. Okay, but I'm back. But I'm back anyway. With my internet connection. Okay, but I'm back. Okay. Hang on. Just won't be long. Just won't be long. Okay. Everyone, do you hear me?
Yes.
I'm echoing. Sorry, there must be something wrong. Okay. So I will just like set up the line group for us. Okay, could you please add yourself to the line group? Okay, let me just put the QR code for you. Okay, just won't be long. The internet connection is not quite good. Okay, let me add the link for you. Yes.
Napat wants to join the meeting. I think he disconnected.
Hang on. Philip, what did you say? Can you say it again? Oh, Napat. Okay, thank you.
Nate Napat wants to join.
Okay. Yeah, I just accept him already. Okay, so let me just like put the link for you. I think the internet connection at this time is not quite good. So everyone, please add yourself into our subject line group. I send it into the chat box already. Please add yourself into our line group. Okay, so that we can communicate over the line messenger. So right now, everyone, do you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, the internet connection a couple of minutes ago was not quite good, so that's why I have to turn off my camera for a while. Okay, then, do you have any questions? Okay, so if you don't have any questions, just like join yourself to the line group, and then we meet each other again on next Tuesday. We will meet each other again on next Tuesday, everyone. Okay. Okay, then everyone, bye-bye for now. You have a nice day and take care. Stay safe. Okay, bye-bye. Bye for now, everyone. You have a nice day.